Good morning, everyone. Welcome, as always. You are watching Dolphins Daily with Thirsty and Diggin. And nothing huge out there, but we're always happy to have you, fellow Dolphin fans, in the room. And as always, this show is brought to you by DolphinThirsty.com. We'd love you have you over there, take some trivia, and read anything new about the Dolphins that happens to break. Hey, Justin, I know there's not much out there in the dolphin world, but on a side note, I know a friend or an acquaintance of yours, I guess, a young man that you were trying to help get some attention out there in the world. He signed, you
Yeah.
can give us, I don't know too much about him, so you can give it a little background as we wait for some other people to get
Oh
in.
yeah, Dad. This is right on for making this, Rob. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And not only that, but Aiden would really appreciate this as well. Um, I don't know if you know, no one's heard the news or not, but my buddy, who I've been, piping and hitting the ground for hard, and he did all of it himself. Man, he's well deserving of this contract. He got a contract offer for the BC Lions, the British Columbia Lions, just recently and accepted it, obviously. So congratulations to Aiden Everhart. Big up. I think we're going to have Aiden coming on the show here shortly at a future time. We're very excited for him. He's a real good receiver, you guys. That's very sneaky. Um, Honestly, his game like his eerily reminds me of a Cooper Cup esque. I mean, that's on its high peak.
Of
He gets
course, I know.
he gets open very easily. He runs crisp, clean routes, puts his foot down, cuts sharp. He can eat at all stages of his route tree. He'll stack and stem you real nice. He's got good wiggle after the catch, great yards after the catch, great hands.
Well, if you
Um,
talk to him, tell him
I
congratulations and,
will.
keep working.
You'll talk to him. He'll be here live, hopefully, on one of the shows, either
Yeah.
Dolphins Daily here or on the weekend show, which is the pro show with me and Reggie. So one way or another, he will be on DolphinsThirsty.com network for sure.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. I know you were very, very happy when you found out the young man signed the contract.
I
So
am. I am very excited for him. It's ironic. I just got done get. I got one of his college jerseys, and I can't wait to get it. So
yeah,
I told him about it. He's like, "That's so nice to hear, man."
yeah, yeah,
I feel good for him because it's like he's worked really hard to come back from his injuries that he suffered at Wyoming, and now I think he's fully healthy. You could see it in his videos, man. He did that 4 cone drill where it looked like he was on ice skates, dude. I was like,
mm,
oh, I got excited right then. I was like, he's gonna get a deal, bro. So I knew it was gonna happen. Ender, what's up, my man? In the house.
yeah. Endure. And speaking of receivers, more on a Dolphin note, I don't know if Barry Jackson wrote an article and it was about Eric Izukama. I would call him Easy because I always butchers.
No, I thought you just said his name perfect, Izukama.
All right,
What was
good.
the article about?
No, it's just about why his lack of playing time, basically from his, they said like we've been saying all year that the Dolphins' offense is very complicated. There's long play calls, and he came from college from a spread offense where it was just easy.
Yeah,
Basically just use
yeah.
his ability to find the open spot and read. So he admit that it was kind of hard picking up the offense because you have to know what side. He said in college he basically was always so just go to the right side and do your thing.
No,
More
I
or less.
no,
Not
I
as easy
agree.
as that. Of course, a little. He said it was like images to describe the offense. Like here, you're here. You should be here at the end of this route and whatever. And here, there's like all kinds of play calls, and depending on the play call, you may have to move. You may have to go over there.
Yep.
So you got to be like ready. So he said it was a big learning curve, but he did play in the last regular season game, and Wes Welker said he only caught the one ball, but he said he was happy with his where he was supposed to be where he was, and he did run blocking well when called upon to block. So he said that overall he's happy, and that with another off season of getting ready, that he could be a bigger contributor next year for the Dolphins. So hopefully so.
Well, yeah, I think it's all about learning that playbook, and once you know the scheme, then you can be where you like Welker said, you can be where you need to be at all times, and you're not out of position. That way, you'll be able to play faster. The dog like you were just talking about, the condensed. They have the condensed splits. They widen them out. They'll do lots of like stacked trips formations, and they'll run motion out of it. They might even run a guy into the backfield and then run him out of the backfield in motion, or bring him back into motion again and then use Joe motion or something like that, or orbit motion. I've seen us using a lot of orbit motion to the end of the season,
Yeah,
and
no,
that would
we
be
did. We were one of the
yeah,
most motion heavy teams,
yeah.
throughout the season. So it's a lot to learn for these young guys. So hopefully he stepped up. Because the article is basically like the first two articles. He wrote one on Tyndall the other day, and this is part 2 of the 2022.
Oh, was the Tyndall one where he said he was struggling to learn the playbook?
Yeah, and all that stuff. So it's like
I was actually just going to talk about that. I was like, yeah, it's funny you're bringing the Ezra Common one up because I seen the Tyndall
so
one.
Barry Jackson, this was part 2 of that series about our draft class and about we didn't get much out of it.
No,
our seventh round pick end up contributing to the team more than the other guys having to come in due to injuries, of course, for Skyler. So I don't know if he's going to do a piece on Skyler, probably since he's doing the draft class, it seems. So that was interesting reading. So they seem enthralled with EZ's talent. So hopefully.
He's very talented. I just think it's all about coaching these guys up. And I know some of them might not want to hear it, but they need to spend more time in the film room. You need to stay with your coaches extra hours so you can learn the schemes and the dynamics of picking it apart and what you're looking at, and then see it again. And then maybe even one more time and keep seeing it over and over and over until it's burned into your brain to where next time you see that route coming at you, you're like, oh, damn, I've seen this before. You're in the backfield and picking it off real fast, or, making the play quick.
Like I said, it's just we didn't have a high draft. This is kind of similar to this year. We don't have a first round draft pick. And at least this year we got a couple picks sooner than we did last year. At least we got a second and 2/3 and everything. And so
I think we only have 5.
Yeah, we don't have many, but at least we got a couple within the top 100 range.
Yep, we do. I'd like to see us grab some more. I mean, I think we touched on this a little bit yesterday. Now that Brian Flores is over there with Minnesota, why don't we just send him his draft class? We should just trade him his draft class. I just seen an article like that as well, where we should trade him Byron Jones, Raekwon Davis, Jerome Baker, Emmanuel Ogba, and Noah Igbenogany.
Yeah,
you trade all 5 of those players over there to him. See what you can
Jerome
get.
Baker predates him, I think, but he loved Jerome Baker for sure.
Yeah, that was his guy. So if they're looking for a linebacker, we got one. We'll trade you. I heard some rumors too about the Dolphins being connected to Josh Jacobs, the free agent running back from the Las Vegas Raiders. I think it'll cost you a boatload of money, but if you can make the numbers work out, it's just like the Saquon.
I just don't see the Dolphins going that high end on the running back. I'm thinking more like maybe a Rashad Penny from Seahawks. He's an injured.
Yep. I know Penny. Penny would be great.
And hey, he's been injured. So Chris Greer's, he's on Chris Greer's radar. So
he likes those injured backs.
I know he was kind of overdrafted, I guess people thought back in the day, but he hasn't lived up to his first round potential. But when he's been healthy, he's played some good ball. So someone like that. And I read somewhere he could come on like a cheap 1 year, $2 million prove it deal.
I could see that.
Maybe something like that, or run it back with Wilson and Moser and pick up an Ahmad and then draft a young guy or something. But
sure. Like we still got to fix our books. Like we don't even know what's going on with our books yet. Like it's still in that time of the season where it's like draft is getting ready to kick off and the new draft season, and then free agency will come before even the draft. So we'll see what happens here.
The new league year doesn't start till March or whatever, and then some teams I don't think we have anyone we have to get rid of by February. But I was reading like the Raiders, they have to make a decision on Carr by February, or they have to pay. He has like a big guaranteed coming. So I'm thinking he's just going to get cut. I don't think any team wants to pay. He's not that good that some team's going to pay. I don't think. But you never know. No, some team may take a flyer on him and be afraid that if he hits free agency, they won't pick him. So some team that thinks they may lose out on him will just eat that contract. But who knows? I don't know. Like I say, it's not going to be the Dolphins. So I don't really care. I was just saying I did read that article where cars do the big money. Oh,
Steve, good morning, my man. How's you doing?
Steve's always good. As always, a reminder, he had a great show last night. Disclaimer, I was on the show with him last night, but he was on the Finns Talk Sports Network at 7:30. They got a lot of great shows there. If you guys are Dolphin fans and they like all kinds of good sports, go follow that network also on YouTube. They're good Dolphin stuff. Good morning, Steve, again. Sorry. And that big thing, I'm not sure if I said a good morning to you after promoting your show. But, so yeah, nothing earth-shattering. I did see like the name you've been pounding for the offensive line coach, Mike Moonchuck. I did see a sports article kind of coming up with the same kind of links that you had to him, and where he's worked with Fangio. And, Fangio is a defensive coordinator, but, they may lean on him to ask, hey, is this guy, does he do the job? I mean, he's a Hall of Famer on the field, and I'm sure he can coach. He can coach well. So
we need somebody. You got to have somebody to get the best out of these guys.
And I think the other guy, Monroe or something. I forget what the article said.
What's his first name?
I forget. I have to go look. He's like John Monroe. No, I forget. I'm horrible with memory.
Sounds very familiar though. Monroe,
I would have to go back. But yeah, there was a couple names linked, but who knows? We will only know when it happens.
What do you guys think of the rumors on Dalvin Cook to the Dolphins? I'll tell you what, if there's going to be one of those 5 players I just went over sent for Dalvin Cook to Minnesota, I'm all for it. So Jerome Baker, Noah Igbenogany, Manuel Ogba, Raekwon Davis, and what was the other one? I forgot.
Jerome Baker, did you say? Or?
Yeah, I think I said that one already. Someone with Raekwon Davis. But, Byron Jones. Any of those guys right there. If you could trade any of those 5 players over to Minnesota for Dalvin Cook, I'd
be shocked. If you could find a sucker for Byron Jones, I'd be totally shocked.
I bet you could find a trade bait partner for Byron Jones if you got really, ingenuity with the contract and be like, hey, we'll pay half of it and you take the other half. Then you could probably get it off the books. I mean, that's a Chris Greer special right there. When he really wants to get rid of a contract, he'll be like, okay, you take Byron Jones in this deal, I'll pay half the contract.
Yeah, I know.
So that's how he gets it off the books most of the time.
Yeah, but then you still got to pay half. So do you have, like you say,
it's better than paying the full thing. That's probably the way he sees it too. So he's like, "Oh, I'll take my deal." What I'm saying? So,
we'll see. But that could be one of those where you just like flip around. Like if we have a, maybe, I don't know, if we have a higher pick at the sun, it would just be like, oh, flip a 7th round pick and,
swap them picks. Sure.
You hardly get anything. You just move up a couple spots just to get the thing off the book because no team's going to give you anything of value for him knowing that you're going to be cutting him.
If they'll give us a 6th or a 7th round pick for Byron Jones at this point, I'll take it because, like you said, he's probably going to be cut at this point. He's cut bait for us. But if you can get rid of any of those other 4 players, I'd even throw a 5th and a 6th player in there, or a 6th and a 7th player into that mix because no one will probably trade for Byron. But Liam Eichenberg and Austin Jackson, man, they could use to start the reset button themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you want to dangle bait out there, go ahead and do it. Let's see what we can get because we need picks. We only have 5, so if you can get 3 more, I was going to be like, oh wow, that's a win. So
we'll see. That's all good. So what do you think? Are you going to go hang out with Aaron Rodgers in 4 days of darkness? Did you see that article where he wants to go get away from society for 4 days and
sounds good
and meditate on what he's going to do? And
no, he's going to.
Everyone knows you're going to come back. It was on that Pat McAfee show.
Oh, the Pat McAfee does a great show.
Yeah, and he was saying, you're going to come back, and he goes, oh no, I'm going to go. I haven't reflected yet. I'm going to go reflect for 4 days of total darkness and whatever. So he's a weird cat, that guy, but he's a good quarterback. But
man, I could see that dude being like, you know what? It's not worth it for me. I'm gonna retire. I could see that happening. So don't think it won't.
I don't think so, man. At 58, he's guaranteed like 58 million, man. So I think that's gonna
he's got money right now.
I know he got money, but I think he's still he will come back because he's going to want more. And he'd be foolish to retire in the same year as
Fox. Go ahead and give him a deal too, or one of those other networks or ESPN or something. He could go get work. I don't think it's that big of a deal. We'll see what he reflects on in his 4 days of darkness.
If he's smart, he would not retire at the same time as.
Yeah, but where are you going to go? You're going to go play with the Jets then, because that's the only or Tennessee. Like those are the teams I could see.
He could always go to San Francisco.
Yeah, stay with the Packers. Yeah, he already said he's not going to San Francisco.
Oh, okay, I haven't heard.
Yeah, he already came out and said, I'm not going to San Francisco. He played some golf tournament. They were like, so, where? He's like, I'm not going to San Francisco. He came out.
Well, that doesn't mean anything either. Just like,
he said
it. I know, but you never know, man. People say, just like Alabama, Nick Saban, I'm not going to be the Alabama coach. I'm not going to be the Alabama coach. And then he's the Alabama coach. So you can't always take people for their word.
He might. He could
I agree that he's probably not going to go there because San Francisco just gave up 3 first-round picks to move up to get Trey Lance. So they've already spent a lot of draft. Now they got their draft picks back, but it's just
Man. Look how they would you talk about the Dolphins being like, oh my God, we're tied to Tua, and everybody hates on Tua, right?
Yeah.
Damn, bro, 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me right now? And we're not killing this franchise right now. It's because it's the 49ers. And they're like, well, they'll make it work. He didn't
the 49ers do make it work, though. Look, they're in another NFC. Yeah, they got spanked by the Eagles, but they were in an NFC championship game. I sure as hell wish we would get to an AFC championship
So
game.
do I. Yes. I guess they drafted him upon like what they think he's going to be, not what he is currently. Because when he played for North Dakota State, they run a run-centric offense. They run first and they pass second. So he didn't throw a bunch of passes in college.
I don't know. They're going off 100% physical skills, that he brings to the table, running a strong arm. But, when he first traded up, all the rumors was that they were doing it to move up to get Mac Jones is what all the rumor was.
That's right.
Then because they said Mac Jones is more of a fit for, their coach and stuff, Shanahan and stuff. So, but they shocked the world and went Trey Lance and, but then he got injured. But anyway, I was just seeing that. It made me laugh that Aaron Rodgers was going to a dark place, he said, for 4 days, I think. But my gut says he'll be back. I think he wants that money because he's a money guy, man. That's why the Packers are so tight, because he wanted them to make them give that big money. So I just don't see him walking away from that money. And
I don't know. Like you could see the Packers trying to make a move maybe for one of these quarterbacks.
Yeah, no, you could. It'd be funny though, that's for sure. And then but like Aaron Rodgers, like I was going to say, I think it'd be crazy to retire in the same year as because at the Hall of Fame ceremony, you're just going to be in Tom Brady's shadow. Maybe Aaron Rodgers doesn't care about stuff like that, but my ego would want, if I was that good, I would want to be like the star of my Hall of Fame enshrinement class.
Yeah, I hear you, but at the same point in time, like the way I see it, I don't know if Aaron sees it this way, but he's always been in Tom Brady's shadow. Like the dude's got how many rings does Tom Brady have? 7?
Yeah,
seven rings, bro, and Rodgers has 1. So you're never gonna catch the guy. So you might as well just give up. Like honestly, I don't see the point.
I wish Mourinho only had 1.
So do I. I would have given anything to see that place. Dark place tripping on LSD, man.
Yeah, I know exactly. Listen, Steve, this is a family show here.
That's so funny stuff, dude. When he said that, it made me think of the anchor or not. Damn it, what is it? The movie where the dude's like, I just got back from my friends, man. We were doing mushrooms out on that beach. I forgot what that movie it was.
Steve always takes you to the wrong place. I don't have to tell Steve.
He does. I love Steve.
Steve, man, you get off track here. Last week it was like you got going about the conspiracy theory of the NFL, and now today
I still believe that theory.
I know. Until
they show me differently, I'm gonna believe that theory. Until the Dolphins are holding up a Lombardi trophy, I'm like, oh my God, it's not rigged. Then I'll talk. Then we'll talk.
Believe me, it's not rigged, but yeah, some things don't go our way.
I don't know about
if it was rigged, believe me, I think if it was rigged, they would spread the wealth around a little bit, let other teams get the taste, and write the script a little bit better. So
I don't know. You didn't see that thing where they talked to a former player. I forgot who it was, a running back. And he said he agreed that the NFL was scripted, and he said that it's scripted and the script was there.
They're all in the silly stuff, man. Silly stuff.
It's hilarious, bro.
Hey, it's just like the WWE, so it's still entertainment,
I wonder what Tua thought about that script for week 3 versus the Ravens. Then when you had the comeback, he's like,
exactly. silly people.
I love it, dude.
If it was rigged, it would have come out by now. And the stories would have come out.
I don't know. The American government, they like to hide things right in front of plain sight, just like UFOs and
but it's not American. This is a private business.
Just like NASA, they'll hide it right in front of you in plain day. They'll hide like space bases and underground.
All right. We're getting off track here. But anyway, I don't think Steve. Let's all blame Steve.
I love you, Steve.
But as long as Steve hits that thumbs up, we're okay. And speaking of that thumbs up, guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up for us. Justin, that goes for you. Make sure you give us some self-love there and give that thumbs up. Guys, hit subscribe and hit that like button. You guys are awesome. As always, we love having you in here. So
I mean,
anyway, I know do you have some topics you want to talk to, Dolphin related?
yeah, absolutely. I think the step going forward after Super Bowl's over, you get Fangio's ink to the paper, everything's settled. From there, you want to be making moves and looking for, your next move. Free agency's coming up. I think the biggest missing thing out of this team right now, especially since we've got Fangio, is going to be that not only a middle linebacker, but an off-ball linebacker that can make plays. We need a linebacker that can make plays. You're looking for a stud, someone who can cover, someone who can tackle, someone who can play in traffic, someone who has speed. Damn, I wish it was Channing Tindall, but he couldn't get the playbook together quick enough. So maybe we'll slow cook him and bring in a vet.
Maybe another year, but now it's going to be another new defense. But hopefully he's the guy. I mean, you spent a third-round draft pick. It was our first pick last year, so he was basically our first-round draft pick, even though it didn't come until the third. So
I think it was a fourth. I think it was a fourth-round pick.
I know. We were very weak in the draft last year. That's why I said this year at least we got the second and 2/3, but then nothing until like the 6th and the 7th. So another weak draft capital. We had a couple years where we were spoiled with having some couple draft picks up high, and then now we have it's like the opposite.
If you think about it, like the way that the team is structured currently right now, I think when they go into the free agent year, they need to be looking heavy veteran offense. Like you need offense I think that's my opinion, during this free agency period. I want heavy offense. You can go get a linebacker, a pass rusher, or a 3-tech in free agency. I'm not going to complain, or even a corner. That's fine. But come draft time, I think the talent is on the defensive side of the football. It's a lot of talented defensive players out there. We should try to draft obviously some linebackers and a nose tackle is what I would be trying to target if you could get your offense somewhat put together, because the defense is ahead of the offense at this point of the game. That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, no, the offense ranked higher for us. You got
Tyreek, you got Waddle, you had Mostert. Now you just got to get that line together and the tight ends together, and I think maybe you'll be sitting a little bit better. Like I just read an article right here where in Matt Miller's mock draft where the Dolphins selected a cornerback in the 2nd round. The first pick was that Cameron Smith out of South Carolina. So a lot of people are seeing him. Yeah, I do like him. I had him at a SRS score of a 95. He's not up there in the hundreds or anything like that. Like some of these guys are starting to land, but he is really good. Like if you land in that 90 range, bro, you're good. You're good. That's that second tier on my draft board. Then you're good. You're something to work around. Even on like the 85, the top 3, tier 3, I think it's workable. You know what I mean? And then after that, tier 4 and 5, obviously you're looking at projects that are going to be, maybe come along a little bit slower.
Right. Hey, sounds good, man. I know you do. You look at all these guys better than anyone I've talked to. So that's all I used to be. I used to really look all the time. And like I said, I'm like that spoiled kid. With the Dolphins not having a first-round pick, it's so hard for me to get motivated to want to read about the draft.
It's crazy.
Like I said on Steve's show last night on our show, I was a draft fan before the draft was popular. I used to watch it when it was on Tuesdays. It used to be on Tuesdays. Not prime time, started on a Tuesday morning. If you look it up, Dan Marino was drafted on a Tuesday.
That's crazy.
My mom was cool, is still cool to this day.
That's awesome.
And then she used to let me skip school for the NFL draft, and I would watch it. So I was watching the NFL draft before it became a prime time event. I'm talking about back in the days when they had helmet phones on the commercials.
Yep, I remember back in
the big old helmets at their tables at the draft room, and it was just always in New York. And few Giants and New York fans would make to get up to be on the balcony. It wasn't a big event where thousands of people show up. It was, it was crazy.
Do you remember the
days? How long
I've
liked the NFL draft, but I've been lacking this year because the Dolphins just don't have that first round pick to get me motivated and want to go read about all these young guys coming in to the NFL. But I will get motivated after the Super Bowl's over. I will get, because you've been sending me all kinds of stuff I'm behind on. That would be great.
We'll get to it. Oh, yeah.
I get to it. It's good. A lot of good prospects out there. I just got to get motivated.
Man. I think you got like 79 days, I think, until the draft, or 78. Richmond Web days until the draft or something like that. I remember the days of the draft where it used to be like 10 rounds, 12 rounds. Like you talked
it was 12 rounds when I was young, 12 rounds.
So that's crazy. Now it went down to 7 rounds and stuff. So
I know because I know now like the seven. It used to be the Mr. Irrelevant was the last pick of the 12th round. 7th round, most of these guys are making the team. Just look at Brock Purdy. Because almost all draft picks make the team nowadays. Just if only 7 rounds and how the salary structure is, and it's just cheaper talent to bring in these younger guys. So
Yeah, I think it's the way anybody that views it and structures their draft board and the way that their GM views it. The way I view it is probably a little different. I think your first round picks that you make should be contributors from day one. They should be on the field. Second round picks, I might be able to squeeze one of them onto the 53 and like they're playing all the time and not depth. As far as from the back right there, back 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, to me that's all developmental players right there because that's why they're being picked back there. But you can find some gems there.
Yeah, but on most teams, they end up coming in and playing, and at least special teams are contributing on.
No, sure, definitely.
They're on the active roster, a lot of them, just because. Or nowadays, of course, you can stick them on the practice squad. They put them out there with the chance they could be poached. But so
that's why you put those later round.
I mean, if you're drafting nowadays, I mean, of course, there are just flat out busts that may make it 1 year and they're out of the league because they just realize they don't have it. But for the most part, man, if you're drafting nowadays in those first 7 rounds, you're pretty much going to make most teams, unless you really go to a stacked team. I was looking at the numbers. I was really impressed with the number of draft picks that end up making the team now. But they were saying it's more of a salary cap thing because that's like cheap talent. So if you're going to have a guy that's making, $480,000, the league minimum as a 7th round pick, or you got to have some veteran minimum, they're like, oh, okay.
$5 million versus $480,000. You tell me which one you want to pay. And that's kind of the difference. So it's crazy, but I would rather have that younger talent almost anyway, depending on like how good he really was. Like,
right.
If you're smart and coachable, and you can like absorb information, yes, I want you because you'll have a better, cheaper version right there. And so I'm always going to go with that younger, cheaper version because that's the way of the NFL. In fact, like those quarterbacks that are pocket passers, they're becoming a dead thing in this game. It's all about the mobile quarterback right now.
No, I know that's the trend for sure.
Yep, and I want one as well. Like Jalen Hurts, if we would have drafted Jalen Hurts, you wouldn't have heard not one complaint out of me, not one. Because I thought I made a comment.
That would have been no Tua for you then, though.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I still would have been all about it. I love Tua, but I'll be honest with you. If we would have drafted Hurts, I wouldn't have complained because I thought he was the more prototypical like ball of clay to where like, wow, you could get anything. Who knows? Like better than Daniel Jones, better than anybody that was in the draft.
The Dolphins would have known that. They could have drafted 3 guys in the first round and then go get Hurts in the second round.
Then you should have, because that's all you needed to look at was the tape and seeing that, wow, he's got a running dynamic. Like he could actually be like a running back in the NFL. Yeah. So you mix that and fit that to the offense that you're running. Look at the offensive line for the Eagles. Like they got like the best short game in the game right now, where they'll line up in short yardage and boom, bull forward with it hurts. It's unstoppable. Yeah. Like in short yard situations, you can't stop those guys, and that's why. I mean, they got Hurts. They got the big offensive line.
That's a big difference, And like
they do.
The Dolphins, they've missed some draft, and then Greer goes and overcompensates and has to trade for a Tyreek Hill, who's great, but you have to go trade for him and give up big money to get him. So that takes up. Then you go get Chubb. Have to fine. He might be great next year, but again, you got to give him the big money. Like if you just draft well, like in 2020, they had the chance to, draft Justin Jefferson, and
I know
they just don't see it. I mean, I know a lot of teams could say that. I'm not in the DeLorean going back, like I said on the show last night. I'm not in the DeLorean picking, now it's easy to pick in hindsight. But, that's what Greer gets paid to do. Like they all do, but he gets paid to do. So
it's true.
You pick like a Justin Jefferson in that, instead of an Austin Jackson, just because of need, because they reached for Austin Jackson because, we need a tackle. So they just took the tackle that was highest.
You're right. No, you're totally right.
Instead of taking the highest rated player on the board, which could have been a Justin Jefferson, but they're like, and then they're like, but we need an offensive lineman, so let's just take an offensive lineman. Yep. So if you take Justin Jefferson, there's what my long point is.
Yeah.
Then you don't need to give up a first round money. You're still paying him cheap. You don't have to give up a first round pick to go get a Tyreek Hill. And
no, you have him.
Tyreek Hill was a lot of fun. I put that banner up there yesterday about Tyreek Hill. So I'm not saying it wasn't a lot of fun to watch, It would. I mean, look at those numbers he put up. So I'm not saying that. I still go with
Oh my
Mark
God!
Clayton.
Look at all those Look at all those
Clayton.
catches right there, man. 119.
Yeah, but I know. So I mean, obviously that's great. But if you did it right and you got Justin Jefferson, then you don't need to go out there.
No, I agree with every word you just
too.
said. Like, I agree. The Dolphins have to stop deviating from their draft board. Don't go out of position of need when you just need to go to the best player available. If you go and oh, well, we really like the Austin Jackson thing. You just explained it so perfectly. I couldn't have said it no better myself. Like, dude, take Jefferson. We'll find a tackle somewhere else. And they're so hard to find anyway. But you should have took Jefferson because it was the best player available at the point in time. Like, don't stop reaching for players that you need, especially to the top of the draft, bro. Don't do that. Go with the more for sure thing that you can get.
In the first round, I would always just go with the best, even if it's like, available. Oh man, it's not necessarily our, but I mean, other than whatever. It's maybe a couple positions. If you're really stocked, like if you're stocked at running back, obviously you're not going to spend a first round pick on a running back. But most positions, if you got a stud left tackle and a stud just happens to be there, I mean, that's a position that you could take and then flip down the line a team to give a lot to or whatever.
Not only that, but like you said there, if you're stacked at running backs, right, and you're like, well, we don't want to spend a first round pick on that, trade back. I mean, acquire more assets. 17 rounds in the NFL draft, 1970s. Wow. That's amazing, bro.
It was 12 when I started.
Yeah, that's back when the game was super popular and people weren't scared to put their kids in it now. Now you got high school coaches saying they got a 30% dropout rate of people who used to play who don't. So it's a scarier sport now, and that's why the numbers are going down so dramatically.
Yeah, but I still think it's also how the rosters are stacked, and it gives other – because I think they did some studies too. Like people drafted after the 7th round, they were barely making it. Just gives them a little more freedom to pick a team that fits their need because they're an undrafted free agent. So that's why I think we're seeing a higher ratio of undrafted free agents make the league now. Because it used to be when I was a kid it was 12 rounds, and Steve says it was 17 rounds back in the day. So that's crazy. So now these kids that are undrafted free agents may have been an 8th or 9th round draft pick or whatever, but now they have a pick. They can say, "Oh, the Dolphins suck at line. I'm going to go and try out I'm going to go sign with the Dolphins because I have a chance of making the team instead of just being drafted to where you don't even know how it's." And he said that's very true, Justin, on their football popularity thing, I guess. I know we said so much, I forgot what, but I think that's what
I know what he was saying. He was agreeing with what I said, how it's because there's a 30% dropout rate now from high school. Like we got coaches saying that kids don't want to play no more. Yeah. So they're having a hard time getting people to play the game. So back in the day when like in the 70s when Steve used to watch a draft, the football was just getting started. It was really popular. So you had 17 rounds. Then as you got older, it went from 17 rounds to 12 rounds, from 12 rounds to now today you have 7 rounds. So it just got a little bit less popular because it's harder to keep these people on the field and it's harder to keep them healthy because, it's a tough, rough, violent sport. We all know that.
It is.
So I think that's what he was agreeing with. Yep.
Yeah, he gave me the thumbs up for it.
Yeah, I agree.
It's all good. But just hope, like I said, that the Dolphins do something right this offseason because they got a lot to do to just clean up the books. They got a lot of work to do before they can even look outside, and they got to.
Absolutely,
I know.
I think it's more like along the lines of, I don't know how to say this without sounding like such a homer. I think they make the right moves. I just don't think they're getting any football luck from the gods per se. Yeah. Like you need to get luck, dude. You have to be lucky in this sport as well. You have to hit on some of these first round picks. You have to be better at developing your mid and late round picks. They do great with like cornerbacks and deep backs that are undrafted. So like do that with the offensive line. Do that with
they haven't been able to do it with the offensive line forever. And that's why we're going on our Steve said it's like 11 offensive line coaches in 11 years. But it's also, like I said, it's actually worse stat is 10 and 9 years.
That's terrible.
It's like that means more. That 1 year we didn't even keep a coach the whole year. We got rid of him in training camp.
Yep, that's why you can't get. That's why you can't get no continuity on the offensive line. That's why you can't get no consistency.
Because that's why because we're always blaming the talent that we have on the team, but it could be the coaching because it's just like. Whereas like linemen, it seems, but maybe some of that does fall on coaching because
it's true.
Guys have to have some talent. I mean, they played major college football, good enough to be drafted. That scouts look at them and say, hey, these guys are good football players, and most of the ones that we drafted fall within range of where all the people are saying they're going to fall. It's not like
I
we
think
reached too
I think
far.
you're right. I think you're right, Rob. I think it's all coaching, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
10 coaches in 9 years, that's pathetic. You can't get any continuity. You can't get any consistency. Like I was saying, you get Mike Munchak and sign him to a long-term deal. Like, listen, we need you for 3 years minimum,
Yeah.
maybe even 5. You want someone like that that'll stay here and teach these guys what they know. I agree with you, Steve. Absolutely, bro. It's like a crapshoot, like a flip of a coin.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like 50-50 on the first round. If you go back the past 10 years and look at all first round picks over the, and because we just, of course, as Dolphin fans being here in Dolphins Thirsty, which reminds me to like and subscribe. But, being Dolphin fans, of course, we love to complain about the Dolphins. But outside of like New England, who had a great run, and Pittsburgh winning a lot, and San Francisco and the Eagles, most teams around the league are more like us. They're more like, what do you think fans in Detroit are saying right now? The same crap saying like,
right.
they seem to be on the uptrend just like we tend to be. That's why I would say the Dolphins versus Lions in the Super Bowl would be
that'd be dope.
that'd be the ultimate Super Bowl.
To touch on what he said right here, the draft is not an exact science. Absolutely, Steve. It's definitely not. It's really hard. But in my time of doing this, which is a really short amount of time, I'm no expert by no means. Don't take it as such. But I think I'm figuring something out that's really, it's key. Let me pass it on to you guys because I think it's a cool topic. I think, and the tackles, this is about tackles and offensive line play. I think the tackles are really hard to find in this league. They're super hard. I'm tending to find something in my research doing this that the body match, like if your body matches, like I'm talking your body weight, like the way it's proportioned and the way you move. If your top body is equal to your middle and your lower half, like if they're equal, you're equally proportioned, you can move. You can scrape down the line of scrimmage and move sideways either way, right? At the same time you're blocking and keep engaged and your head stay still. That's what I'm talking about. Those tackles are the ones that are evenly proportioned. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like their body matches.
So
and
they have better odds of making it.
Making it, absolutely. And their feet can move. If your feet can't move, like Liam Eichenberg, his eyes and everything see it, but his feet never follow him. Your feet have to go. If your feet don't go, your body won't go. So when you see me like break down a player and I'm writing up the article or whatever, or the write-up, and I'm like, his feet, his eyes, head, hands, and feet all move in unison together. That's what I'm talking about. Like where they all work well together. They're perfect in harmony. Then you're going to make a good tackle. That's what I'm noticing. And then the guys who are unevenly proportioned and they're like top heavy and their lower half is not as thick and big, they don't make as good of tackles because their footwork isn't good. If your feet don't move, you're not going to make a good tackle. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
But
and
that's what I'm noticing.
Joe Rose, like you say, there's only so many of those size people walking around the planet.
That's right. It's true.
And then you limit it down to that they have to have talent. There's a lot of big people, but they have no ability to do. So it's like really a limited class of. Yes, Steve. He's agreeing with you. I like it when he agrees with you and he doesn't push you to another topic. Thank you, Steve.
It's all good.
You're back in my good graces, Steve.
It's definitely
I will make sure that I watch your show wherever you are. Of course, I watch you every Tuesday night, but Steve is awesome. I like it when he gets you going.
Yeah, footwork is definitely key, especially to playing that kind of a position. Like your feet are key. Like I'll see some guys that have footwork that. Like I've seen this one kid, he's pass block sets and even his run block sets, I've mentioned it. He'll have like this pigeon toe stance. And I'm like, why the hell is he pigeon toed where his feet are going like this on every set? And I'm like, is that to give you better balance work? Like I'll have to figure out the secret there because I don't know it. But it might be because he wants better balance, to going backwards and forward. But it even comes out in his run blocking reps. So I'm like, what the hell is with this guy's feet? I pay attention to that.
Dolphin. Yeah, sorry.
The voice of reason has arrived.
Yeah, he has. He knows his Dolphin stuff too, man. He nailed our trivia questions on
G-Man's in the house
last night on the Real Talk Fins Talk. He nailed them all. I gave him some killer bee questions and he nailed them. He answered Glenn and Val Blackwood questions. He answered Bob Baumhauer.
It's crazy, but I'm not a big guy. Don't take it the wrong way. I played cornerback, safety, and wide receiver. But somehow, some way, I think I know the line of scrimmage better than I know the other stuff, kind of. I know that other stuff. I know the whole game. But the line of scrimmage stuff, I just know, man. I can see it. I've looked at a lot of hours of it. Like when someone's technique is wonky, like they do this stuff and they're offensive lineman and they grab a guy like this. I like an offensive lineman who can easily reset his hands and go back up underneath and get, in the middle. Like I hate wonky hand grab. If you can reset your hands for me, I'm all about your game. If you can reset your technique, like automatically too. I mean, like your feet fix themselves, and then from your feet, hips, and hands go.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It starts from the feet up. If you can't fix your technique after you get beat, if you can't fix it, I don't want you running and chasing a dude. I want you to get in front of him from the beginning.
So tell us, G-Man. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt your rant, but G, so tell us who it is.
Oh, dude, guys, there is one guy that I absolutely must have in this draft. Please enlighten us, because I'm hoping it's somebody that I want. Who is that?
I know. I think he's been high on the Georgia running back, but I don't know if that's the one.
Oh, the McIntosh kid? Yeah, I like McIntosh.
Yeah, I knew it. I called it right before he said it. Yeah.
He's good. I don't know if he's an absolute must-have, though, but yeah, in the range we pick in, he's probably going to be on the board, bro. But I'll be honest with you. If I was to have my choice of running backs right now, I'm taking the top two that are on the board that scored out 100 on the SRS, Devon Achane or Tajay Spears. I'll take either or.
Look at Steve being the punter, kick returner, punt returner, running back, and defensive
deep back. Hell yeah, bro. You were all over the damn place. What round do I think he's going to land in? I think Kenny McIntosh is going to go somewhere in between. Oh, wow. I don't think he might rise. I'll say 3 and 5. Probably the 4th round.
Well, so we can take him with one of our threes. If
he'll be on the board, I'm thinking. But, man,
what are you thinking, G-Man? What have you been reading on the mock drafts and stuff? Because Justin more of the guy, like, rating the prospects. He doesn't look at all the mock drafts right now. And so
no, I don't look at anybody's mocks unless it's my mock. I look at my mock and I look at my draft board and I look at my scout scale. That's the only way I do this.
So where are you? He likes not seeing because he doesn't want to be influenced by someone's opinion. So
that's why I don't look. That's why I don't look.
So what are the mocks having him, G-Man?
I'm sure he's going in that range. I'm saying like 3 to 5. What I'm thinking. Because every time I do a mock, he's there. Yeah, Georgia running backs are no joke. I like him in the 3rd. I hear you, bro. He is no joke. He's good. He's fast. He's got a quick twitch speed. He can run well behind his pads. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can pass protect. I talked to you about him just the other day. I haven't got to his scorecard yet because I'm going through everybody else first. But, I mean, I'm getting there. Like, I bet you any day now I'm coming up on this dude's name. No way he's there in the 5th. I wouldn't bet on that, bro. This is a heavy running back draft. There's lots of running backs, tons of them.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But
it's definitely a possibility he could be there in the 5th, especially whenever that run on running backs comes, which it's not going to be early. It's going to be late. I'd say like the beginning of the 2nd round, middle of the 2nd round is when running backs start to hit. I don't even think Bijan Robinson goes in the 1st round. Watch. We'll see.
I'm going to go look at some mock drafts and see where most people have them go, and I'm just curious. So let's see. But
his height and weight, he's 6'1", slightly over 200 pounds, Steve. So he's a little taller, but that's not a big deal. So is Zach Charbonnet, but that dude scored really high on my SRS scorecard. He scored a 97.
Are you starting to do some running backs now?
I've got mad running backs on there, just not Kenny McIntosh yet.
I know you hadn't been going through the positions. I didn't know if you started your running backs yet.
Oh, I've got almost everybody done besides quarterbacks. I've got over 150 players, I think, almost done right here in front of me. Yeah. Like I said, Achane and Spears are the top running backs on the board. Right? Both scored 100. After that, you have Zach Charbonnet at 97. After that, you have Blake Corum at a 93. Yep. Then you have, after that, you got a 92 with Jahmyr Gibbs. Then you have Zach Evans at a 92. That's what I have so far. So we'll see. I'm sure McIntosh is on my scorecard. If I can say it right now, he's going to score somewhere between a 90 and a 96. That's going to be what I think McIntosh will score on my scorecard.
Okay, so I mean that's high up there because I know you say 100.
It's very high. If you're
Yeah.
scoring a 100, you're going to be a Pro Bowl All-Pro. That's my opinion. If you're scoring 100 on my scorecard, that's what I think. But we'll see.
I mean, the thing with the Dolphins is that we got the second round, right? Stop me if I'm wrong. Second round pick, 2/3, but did not get into picks in the 7th, right?
Yes.
So,
what he's like, that's
yeah,
perfect
if you don't
size.
pick him in the third, if you don't pick him in the third, you're not going to get him. Because then you don't pick. If you don't pick him by at least the second round pick that we got as compensation, whatever compensatory pick, I don't think
we need a running back that can make his own
round.
yards. Our offensive line isn't exactly the Hogs of the 80s. Absolutely. Bro, go check out that Tajay Spears tape and Devon Achane. I'd do anything to get those guys on the team. That's my highest rated backs. And those guys create yards all on their own.
G-Man brings what he thinks. I like that. So
I don't get stuck on anywhere. He's been stuck on this Kenny McIntosh dude for like 3 weeks now, though. I don't get stuck on any one player like that. I'll look at him. I know who he's talking about. He's great and all, but I don't be like, he's the one guy we have to have. I don't do that. And I don't get into the size thing either. We're like, oh, well, I want him to be bigger. I don't care what your size is. I care about what your production is and how you run behind your pads.
Well, that's fair enough, too. I like some people when they've got that conviction. Hey,
I love SEC players. I love SEC players, too. Devon Achane's Texas A&M kid. That's SEC.
Dolphins tend to like them, too, because, Greer, when he's
draft
had
all
the higher picks.
All my players I take there. All my players I draft out of the SEC, honestly. But there's exceptions to the rule. Like, man, that Tajay Spears, I'm not even going to lie to you. To watch this kid's tape, the Tulane running back, oh, my God. He's so elusive. He's so fast. The first guy never catches Tajay Spears. The first guy never gets him. Never. Telling you, he can catch out of the backfield. He can pass protect. That Tajay Spears, even if we didn't get Achane, I'd be about him. I'm about McIntosh, too. I'm about any of those running backs because all of them are good. That's what I'm trying to explain to you is like, dude, that running back class is loaded, bro. McIntosh can easily be had in the 5th round. Easily.
Yeah. That's good. Good stuff, man. I looked at the time. We're almost at the end already, Justin. Time flies when you're having fun.
Damn, I'm telling you, man. You think that's the running backs are stacked? Go look at the cornerbacks, bro. Go look at the cornerback class. The cornerback class is just ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. It's dominating the whole top half of the draft right now. Like, you want a cornerback? This is the draft to get one in because they're out there. The big, lanky ones, the small, quick ones, the ones that can peel off and make interceptions, the ones that are in quarterbacks' brains, the ones that won't even get thrown at. They're in this draft, bro. There are a lot of them.
The Dolphins could use corner. Like I said, we got a lot of needs. Linebacker, corner,
trade those. Let's trade those five.
We don't have running back on the roster, basically, when the New Year League starts. We don't have anyone under contract. So
Greer probably never heard of him. Oh, man, I don't know. Maybe not.
I do agree with this.
I'm for hire.
Kirby Smart recruit studs. That he does. They've become like the Alabama too.
I love Georgia players, bro. I love Georgia players.
They're a recruiting machine. Oh yes.
You like Georgia players, man? Oh yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share, tell a friend, tell another friend. Want good content? You thirsty for Dolphin stuff? Go check out dolphinsthirsty.com. Great trivia, great quizzes. Soon all the draft content you can handle. Go check it out. But yeah, you like Georgia players, G-Man? What do you think about that Warren McClendon? Because I know a lot of people don't like that Warren McClendon kid, but I do. In fact, he's one of the highest rated tackles I have on my board right now. In fact, if McDaniel fails, I would go after Kirby Smart.
Let's just hope McDaniel doesn't fail. G-Man. So I was going to say McD, but that's the coach. I just hope McD makes it and was all good. But yeah, I mean, Kirby Smart, not many come from college to the pros and does well, but there has been great examples like Jimmy Johnson did it obviously for Dallas, and Pete Carroll went from like NFL then to college back to the pros and won.
It's crazy, but the way that Chris Greer values
Nick Saban in my mind is what I can't get over.
Oh yeah, he spurned us hard. But the way that Chris Greer values running backs, dude, don't get attached to any one running back because you're just going to get left at the altar, my man. That's what's going to happen. You're going to be like Kenny McIntosh, and we won't even get a running back till like undrafted or the 7th round. Watch, that's how they do it every year. They don't put no stock into it. So I don't want to trade for Dalvin Cook. I do if it's getting rid of any one of those 5 players of Byron Jones, Emmanuel Ogba, Jerome Baker,
Well, they're probably going to want a draft
or
pick
Noah
for. I would
Igbenogany.
imagine they're not going to give us. They're going to want some draft compensation.
Well, yeah, take our trash. Take your draft picks you had over here, Brian Flores, and I'll take Dalvin Cook for all that stuff I just named.
They're probably going to draft pick. I agree with G-Man, and we can't just be compensating with draft picks all the time instead of drafting well ourselves. That's what we need to do. I mean,
I wish
sustainable winning is drafting well.
Oh, I want to build through. I want to build through the draft. Don't get me wrong. I want to build through the draft. But in this free agency period, there's just some things on I don't want a rookie doing. And offensive line and tight end, that's one of them. I need veterans right there. I don't like used cars or used running backs.
I agree, man. I agree.
Draft them.
Get your mileage off these guys. And, that's what the NFL does a lot, though. They run these rookies contracts out, their running backs, and then they move on to the next running back because they know they've gotten all the mileage out of him probably, and let the other buyer beware.
So then, G-Man, you're not into Josh Jacobs? You wouldn't like Josh Jacobs coming to the Miami Dolphins?
Well, obviously for that. I wouldn't mind the player, but I don't want the money that you would have to pay him when we got other things. And yes, I know everyone says, oh, there's ways around the salary cap, but when there are, let's use it for smart reasons to get around the salary cap. Let's do it for something outside of running back. Let's do it for linemen or whatever.
If there's one free agent on the market that's going to be on the market right now, Rob, G-Man, Steve, Ender, any of you guys in here, who is it, and why do you want him? What's the guy you want? Who's the free agent you want?
I haven't even looked into it as much yet, so I'll get back with you. But, like I said, I want the cheaper kind, like the Rashad Penny comes to mind, some of the cheaper guys that would come in and be on the cheap. But now, if it's an offensive lineman, but I don't even know what all the offensive linemen is going to be. I know you say you love Bradbury from Minnesota.
Yeah.
You say he's going to be a free agent. So, yes, but, to me, I still think we have an okay center. But like you say, it would make 2 positions better, get a better center, and then you got a better left guard. But, he did come here. He's been a center with us, Williams, so I'm not sure. And like Steve said on the show last night, he's he's a top 5 rated center. But I know you like Bradbury, but like a Rashad Penny, draft the next. There you go. That's like,
absolutely, dude. Absolutely, but the Dolphins don't draft running backs. I've said it 1,000 times. We all know it, bro. Like, I'll be honest with you, I'm with you, G-Man. I'd rather draft the running back than go pay Jacobs or Saquon, but I don't control the team. I know for a fact they'll go make a splash move like that, and everybody will be pissed off. Like, if you left it up to me, and you could be like, listen, you could have Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, or Garrett Bradbury, and like 3 other free agents. I would take Garrett Bradbury and the 3 other free agents.
Yeah.
I know. Oh, that one killed me, bro. That one really pissed me off right there. I'm not even gonna lie.
I thought that would be the year that we would.
I would have taken Taylor.
Back. I thought we would take a running back because we had 3 first-round picks, and normally they don't take running backs. So I was thinking, they may go running back just for something different, but nope, they did not.
I would have taken Jonathan Taylor, bro. That would have been my draft choice if I was the GM, just so you know.
But of course, if you went into a time machine now and say no trades because you couldn't do a trade.
Even before then, I would have taken Taylor. I would have taken Taylor all the way, bro. I don't know what the hell he's thinking taking Igbo right there. Even when he made the pick, I was like, what?
Of course, because in hindsight, they should have taken Justin Herbert, Justin Jefferson, and then, take a Jonathan Taylor, and then, boom.
Oh,
but
my
you
God.
don't know that.
What a team that would have been, huh? Oof.
Yeah, I know. And that's, I give Herbert the nod because of durability. The young man, he was injured, and he still went out there. And
he's played. A lot more durable than Tua. That's for damn sure.
No, that's for sure. So, if you would have taken those 3 guys right there, we'd be a perennial playoff powerhouse, maybe even still playing this season, but it's all ifs and buts. Yes, I agree 100%. That had Flores written all over it. He felt, and Greer's the kind that listened to his coach and says, well, if you want him, we're here to try to win together, and that's your guy. Fine, let's draft him. But I agree because that was one of the guys that they got to work out before all the COVID craziness.
Man, I bet you Greer's phone's already been called up over there and calling their GM like, hey, you guys interested in Raekwon Davis, Byron Jones, Noah Igbenogany, Emmanuel Ogba, or Jerome Baker? I bet you any amount of money, man. I would think that's what's going to happen.
Well, with
We'll
that
see.
said, we are out of here. So almost anything you got to close. And I know we got draft talk coming. And Friday, we're going to look up some prop bets for fun
Right.
in the
I
Super
was
Bowl. Just to
actually
see.
looking at some of those to bring them. I think I can bring them tomorrow. You want to go over it? I
You can
looked
go
at
over
a couple.
tomorrow's fine. Yeah.
I looked at a couple that looked pretty fun. Like there was like one, I think it was any player scores 3 touchdowns, or a touchdown that's not rushing or passing or defensive. So like a return. The odds were pretty good on them, pretty favorable. And then there's some for sure ones that are definitely probably going to happen. Like Mahomes is probably definitely throwing for 300 yards. You could put that one in the books right now.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah, that's fun. So we go over that for some fun stuff. And anyway, guys, as always, thank you. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and
Kenny McIntosh, go down.
We love it. We love it, Repo. Hey, if you there's like Kevin Costner's character in the movie, no matter what, Kenny McIntosh. That would be if G-Man was our GM, we would know who the Dolphins would be.
He'll be there. He'll be there when you're picking. He'll be on the board there, guarantee with your first pick. Your second one you have that's later, I bet you he's still there. So yeah, any one of those 2 first picks, you could get Kenny McIntosh, I would imagine.
Yeah, like I said, we got a second, 2 thirds, and then not until the 6th or the 7th. So
I'll tell you what, though, you go get Kenny McIntosh and you have a Devon Achane or a Tajay Spears on the board, or even Zach Charbonnet for that matter. Well, I haven't looked at McIntosh's scorecard yet, so if it's anywhere near those guys, then I'm okay. But if he's like down in the 80s or 90s, and you go and those Achane, Spears, and Charbonnet on the board, and you take McIntosh, I'm gonna be one pissed mofo because that
always
be
says
bad.
Dolphins, though. We're always. We'll see. You're probably going to score him high, and you'll be coming back
I
on.
Probably will.
G-Man, the Dolphin is right.
G-Man, you're the man.
All right, guys. Anyway, with no further ado, I'd like to say fins up to all of you guys. Always Steve, Ender, of course, G-Man, and everyone else. If I'm leaving you out, I am sorry. I think those are the guys I saw a comment today. Thank you, as always. Fins up,
me up
and
too. I
see
like
you
that.
tomorrow.
Deuces.